This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 615 for the week of Sunday, April 5th, 2020. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
And much like a certain someone, Alex, will be joining us somewhere in the middle of the show, probably, so look forward to him. But we have special guests, as always, joining us from their respective homes. We have very special guest translator for One Piece and Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. He's Stephen Paul. How's it going, Stephen?
Yo, it's going fine. Quarantine life is same as ever for me. no difference in my schedule.
That's good to hear. So I could schedule you for the next who knows how long for the podcast. We also have a special guest. She is returning here with us. You might know her from Strucci Movies. She's Shannon Strucci. How's it going, Shannon?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about this chapter.
Yeah, you came on in a good, fun chapter this week.
Yeah.
We also have Patron returning for his second time on the show. Ralph is on. How's it going, Ralph?
Going oddly well, considering what's going on out there, but doing well.
It's good to hear, and glad to have you back. I'm excited.
Thank you.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, we have our anime recap host. His name is Sam Leach. How's it going, Sam?
Greetings from planet Earth.
You weren't able to escape.
I tried. I gave it a good shot.
That's all you could ask for. Before we get into a little bit of news, including our brand new and non-recurring segment about birthdays with starring Maddie, who's also here. Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
Hi. She's always here, so I forget.
I am always here.
Ever-present force in the background of the podcast.
Even when you guys leave, I'm still here.
Playing Animal Crossing all day. So yeah, before we get into all of that, I want to remind people, if you haven't, to please subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. Because we are in quarantine life and we are not able to leave, we have been, despite what Steve thinks, have been putting a lot of cool stuff together, including a 3 or 4 hour Jackbox, what do we call it? Davy Jack fights return on Wednesday, and we did part of it was available for everyone, and part of it was just available for all patrons. The way we'll be typically doing that is if you're a patron at any level, you can watch live, and then we bump it up to the $10 level if you miss it. But we're going to be doing them pretty often, so hopefully you will be able to catch at least one of those at some point in time. And we'll probably be doing a few public ones as well. So enjoy that. But on to the non-podcast related news. Stephen, volume 96 came out this week.
Yes,
do you have information on that, or where people could find it?
Well, I ordered it from Amazon Japan. That's about all I can tell you about it. It has a nice fancy cover. We talked about it a while ago because they put up the line art really early for it, and I think we talked about the color release of it as well, the full cover. But that's about all I can say. I haven't gotten my copy yet, so and I've been waiting for my physical. I'm not ordering it off of a Bookwalker or one of those digital sites. Haven't gotten that desperate yet, but we'll see how this phase of reality continues.
Yeah, and especially since I've been hearing Japan has been following the trajectory here in New York City as well. So hoping for the best over there.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I feel like we have not yet begun to grapple with the possibility of what happens when Japan actually starts shutting stuff down and taking it seriously, as far as how we who consume their entertainment materials are going to be affected by that because of stuff Oda he doesn't do it digitally. He draws it on paper with people in a studio. And, that's the sort of thing that you're not supposed to do. Stuff like dubbing the anime episodes, the Straw Hats, all the actors get into a room together with a bunch of mics and they're acting it out together. Stuff like that is Yeah, if they're going to be taking
and many of them are
safety
in that
precautions.
age range too.
Yeah, they're not young. So if they're going to be taking proper safety precautions, I think we might have to prepare ourselves for some hiatuses of undetermined length. I've seen a few like ANN articles about like here's this random manga or this other thing or this anime series that has delayed the next installment or whatever. So I think it's just starting to see some trickle down effects, and we will find out if that has any effect on One Piece as well.
Well, I mean, I would say for One Piece, especially compared to a lot of other series, the good news is Oda does his work at home. He has a studio, but it's at home, so maybe he'll be able to do a little more, or at the very least, we could say he would at least be in a safer place if there is a hiatus and things are shut down. So he's also not one to really go out and mingle, I feel, all that much, but who knows? Just from his reclusiveness, I would assume. Yeah. So I think it also is the most published or already like highest, whatever they say, the highest selling of the volume so far. I think it was 480 million. The
first
total,
printing.
Yeah.
They did it up big for this one. I think they knew, they were like, okay, this is going to be a big one, a big historic volume. So let's print up a bunch of them. They
even did that trailer. I don't know if you saw. It was really cool for the volume. Yeah. I'll repost that on our Twitter. There are also a few other little release news things, including, I don't know if this is still going on, but there was a One Piece, the big One Piece manga box set was 30% off. I think that was earlier in the week. I'm not sure if that's still going on. Volume 94, the cover came out for in the English release, and only Momonosuke is covered. By the by the number. And Pirate Warriors 4 came out this week. That was last week already. What, the days are blending together. But
I bought it this week, so
Sam, you want to talk about it? And Stephen?
I got mine too, actually.
I'm still kind of getting into the swing of it. I don't like all the mechanical changes that they've made. I don't like
it plays a little differently.
Yeah, I don't like how they changed like light and heavy attacks, and I think I just have to like level up my specials before they like actually feel good again. But right now they feel real weak.
All right, so Sam hates it.
Yep.
How dare you hate anything One Piece, Sam? Get out of here.
I played the first stage. I don't know what you want to call it. It was cool. Like, I haven't played Pirate Warriors since 1 or 2, but it's button mashing.
Yeah, I think it's a little tough when you start off on the story mode because it makes it very clear that like it's structured very differently, because like Pirate Warriors 3 was like, all right, first we're going to beat Morgan, then you beat Buggy, then you beat Kuro, and you just go through all of the stages. And in this one, you just go right to Alabasta. So you skip a lot of the early material, but then they also like develop, like it's like you're doing the whole arc. You're like going to different places and multiple stages and stuff like that. So it's it feels different the way that they sequence it, but I like all of the destructible stuff. That seems kind of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting further into the story.
And I don't know who it was that said this just now, but someone else on the podcast, I guess they were speaking over you, Stephen, but they were saying it seems like the gameplay is a little rough.
Oh.
I hate you, Steve. So I
don't know.
rough. So we have a big episode to go through today, including a pretty significant chapter 976. Begging Your Pardon is the name of that chapter. We also have a anime recap this week, right, Sam?
Yes, that will be for episode 927, Pandemonium, the Monster Snake Shogun Orochi.
There we go. We're getting into some really good stuff for the anime too. So I'm a big fan of this part of Act 2 specifically. So if you're not watching, So that's all going to happen. We also have some piece together, trivia, a lot more. You guys get ready to get into this episode?
Let's go.
Yep.
Absolutely.
This is Maddie's special birthday segment. Maddie, whose birthdays did we celebrate this week?
Well, we had a lot this past week. Obviously, I'm just going to go over the big ones because otherwise this would take like an hour. But April 1st, we had everyone's favorite April Fool, Usopp. And April 2nd, not only did we have Fish Uncle Jimbei's, but we also had Chef Uncle Zeph's birthday.
Oh, I didn't even see anyone mentioning Zeph.
That's because Jimbei stole all his glory. April 3rd was Brooke's birthday. And let us not forget April 4th was Foxy's birthday. And I guess also Shirahoshi's.
Yeah, but Foxy.
But
Was there
Foxy.
somebody
Foxy's
else
a
on
little
that
bit
day?
more
I
important.
thought there was like a third interesting.
Joey.
Everyone's
Oh.
favorite Straw Hat Joey.
Joey. Yeah.
Wow. So there's,
So wait.
there's podcast birthdays.
Oh,
and
it
character
looks like it's
birthdays.
also Dog Storms.
Yeah, so
Oh, cool.
Joey's birthday is today the 5th.
I'm looking at the page a day calendar and it's in Japanese, so it takes me a second.
Yeah. So wait, if Tokyo Tower were open, they'd have events all of those days, especially for Zeph, I assume.
Oh yeah, they closed down the entire place for Dogstorm.
They usually do like special meals and stickers. Sometimes they do greets. It's only Sanji who gets like 3 celebratory days of like parties at his restaurant. Everybody else
It's
gets like,
His restaurant.
yeah, and it's also Sanji, and he attracts many young women somehow.
Which is so
Which is-
ironic because
I know.
And sometimes men.
Yes.
This is the week of holidays in Japan. They call it Straw Week.
oh, is that why One Piece was off last week? There's too many holidays.
Yep.
Oda had to celebrate the Straw Hat's birthday, so he needed a week off. All right. The only thing I want to add is because of Jinbei's birthday, I think that's what really brought everyone out of the woodwork to really actively spoil people for this chapter.
I stayed unspoiled. I was so happy.
Yeah, you know what?
I just hear it now.
Well, thank you
It's great.
for all of your guys' sacrifices. Because of you mentioning it in their chat, I was able to avoid stuff.
You know, screw you
Yeah.
guys. That's all I have to say about that.
Zach, do you honestly think like these assholes who don't realize that the chapter comes out officially, legally, and for free on Sundays? Do you think they fucking know Jimbei's birthday?
Yeah, so you want me to tell you how my first spoiler of the week was Viz posted a happy birthday Jimbei, and I retweeted it because I am a good person and I love Jimbei. Because why wouldn't I do that? And someone replies to that, and also us, with just a picture of the last spread there.
Wow.
And it wasn't like that was
Yikes.
that was not the first time that happened. That was on Thursday, and I think that same day we had people just like, when I'm like, guys, comes out Sunday, don't post it earlier, just be nice, be like a civil human being. At the very least, don't post pictures of the very last spread. Even people who read the chapter legally today have mostly been doing a good job not posting that last spread, even though it's out. So like, do the right thing and don't do that. But anyway, even after that, people were just like, well, fuck you, here's another picture. So I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
I blocked a lot of people this week.
I checked Zach's thread and I just saw a thumbnail of the pattern and I was like, oh god damn it. I knew right away.
Yeah, so with that, let's get into the chapter.
Actually, let's read the author comment first, because his
okay.
comment this week is,
Well-
I want to draw a sea battle, but it's tough because there's guys in the boats more powerful than cannons. Which actually, good for this chapter, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also it was Zach's birthday, but nobody cares.
We were doing
Yeah.
so good not mentioning that.
That's why we had Davy Jack fights. It was Zach's birthday, but he didn't bother
Yeah.
to say anything about it.
What was I supposed? I mentioned Usopp's birthday several times during that. What's the problem? Steve, what were you going to say? What sarcastic comment?
No, I was just going to ask, which segment are we in now?
We're in the birthday segment, and we're now going to take a quick break and go into our manga recap.
What about second breakfast?
This is the manga recap for chapter 976, begging your pardon. There's 3 exclamation points there, and that's because you should be reading it on shonenjump.viz.com and mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Ed, what is going on the cover of Shonen Jump this week, if you have it?
Well, there's a lot going on here. I guess I will call this color spread "Good Shoes Take You to Good Places."
Oh, the cover of Jump.
The cover of Jump, Ed.
Damn it. All right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the color spread.
No,
Save that joke for like a minute.
Steven, what's going on in
Where's
the first...
the cover of Jump?
Steven, what's going on the cover of Jump?
The cover of Jump, we have a... I want to say this is probably a rare illustration of some kind, just in terms of like who Oda has chosen to draw. But we have, it is the trio of Luffy, Roger, and Oden, and they're toasting with their mugs of frosty chocolate beer shakes or something. Yeah,
cream soda.
I love the 3 brothers.
Yeah, sharing the cups. Yeah,
I think these are the 3 amigos, not the 3. Well, whatever. Anyway, Stephen, yeah, what do you think of this?
Super cool. I like that you can see Oden's like kabuki eye, his kumadori like eye makeup thing on the corners of his eyes. That's kind of cool because you don't really get that super detailed in the manga with the black.
I don't think you get it at all.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had like eyeliner until the volume 96 cover came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool, and to answer Ed's original question, you could see the cover of Jump either on shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. And on Manga Plus, it says a will carried on, transcending time and space. So I don't know what that. No, I know what that means. Apparently, to appear in a Shonen Jump cover, you could literally transcend time and space. So, what 2 idols do you each want to meet? No, we don't have to do that right now.
We're going to the moon.
We're going to the moon, guys. And we're going to meet George Washington and Joseph Stalin. It's going to be great. Those are not my 2 idols. I'm just trying to name 2 random people. Ed, what's going on the color spread that you were so excited to discuss?
Thank God it's the Tontadas. I mean, come on. How can you not be excited about that? But actually, I love these boots that Luffy's made, the Mary and Sunny boots. But it's funny, actually, because in manga canon, the Mary's head is supposed to be brown. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oda fucking up.
Hey, that's the anime Mary with the white head.
Yeah.
Time to
Zoro's
pack it in, Oda.
I've been looking at Zoro's shoe for 20 minutes. I'm just it's so funny.
What went wrong here? Yeah.
Something's missing from this color spread. Certain somebody's missing. We need them.
No, so someone pointed out this is the Alabasta crew, basically. So we're missing a lot of people here. Yeah. Which actually makes it a lot better.
Which is funny because like Dressrosa is like the less than stellar Alabasta remake.
Ooh,
it's like Oda's admitting it. Is this the first time we've had a request color spread? The request being that, yeah.
No, he's done a few more recently, but that seems to be what he's doing now. Is he takes the requests for the color spreads.
And I always love
that. He said that in one of the magazines, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. You're right. He said, and this is one of the few times we have English written on a shirt. By few times, I mean kind of often, actually. Good shoes take you to good places.
Looks like the Soul King Brook poster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the font.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at the other shirts that I can't really read. Like Usopp.
Yeah, what does Nami's apron say? That's what I was trying to figure out.
I'm a something.
I'm about to break.
And she's about to break.
I think all of these Tontata characters all have names.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would not. That does not surprise me in the least.
I'm just trying to see if there's any other that I don't recognize here.
I'm glad
they're all the name
Flapper.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
There's the one who's
Flapper?
voiced by Cho in the anime.
Mhm.
The old man one.
I like that Zoro's
other old
apron. Zoro's apron says good shoes, and it appears to have Sonic the Hedgehog on it because that's somebody who needs some good shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know the new canon now.
I don't know if Maddie's here, but I mean, she's always here, but somewhere in the background. But had a very good. You had a very good descriptor of Zoro, how Zoro made those shoes. I saw.
Yeah, like what did I say? Like when you get lost. So wait, I don't remember what I said. Sorry.
Zoro got so lost that he got lost making his own shoe or something like that.
That sounds really. I'm sure it was funnier than that. No, here we go. I sense a direction so bad you get lost making a boot.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Usopp's got his like Doskoi panda headband thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, so what does that say on Usopp's shirt, Steven?
Oh, that's just his shoes.
Well, that's freaking boring.
So disappointing.
Flapper has a very prominent place on Luffy's knee.
Is that
Chopper's got a
Flapper?
monkey on his shirt with some words we can't read.
It's gonna stab Luffy right through the forearm there.
Oh, and Steve, it's your favorite Cub at the top, looking at Sanji, your other favorite.
That's right. It's a very good move to make.
Sanji's outfit makes him look like a brownie or something, like a brownie scout. That's the first thing I thought of.
or the UPS guy.
Hello, Mr. Cub.
Yeah.
I have your delivery. One shoe, a single shoe.
I like the
wearing the short shorts down there.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God.
gotta cover them up. They're indecent.
I know. I was gonna say that's a crime if he is, and Oda covered it up.
Well, I think we know the image.
Tontata with a little bowl cut at the bottom there.
Oh, I forget their name, but
Big arms.
It's Bomber, I think.
yeah. I miss the Tontatas though. I miss their childlike talk. You know, I could imagine the king there just just saying like, "Good job, yeah, everybody." I miss hearing them. Well, I never heard them reading this manga. But I miss hearing them in the manga recap.
Let's move on to the first page of the chapter.
All right, so we start with some of the Akazaya samurai crowding around Kinemon and sort of giving him a noogie in the face and being like, "Stop lying! You thought it was Tokage Port. We're not mad. Just like, come on." And Kinemon's like, "Stop that. Perhaps I will die in the battle ahead. Feels as though I've just used up an entire lifetime's worth of good luck." And yeah, this is true. He's not kidding about being lucky, but that's our Kinemon.
Steven, did you get? Isn't there something like "Stop it right now"? Like, isn't that from something? I can't remember what. No.
Although I do want to shout out. There was a comment on the Reddit thread for the official release that was really funny. That was like, Denjiro hasn't seen Kinemon in 20 years. He's like, "Oh, you genius man, you're god of 5-dimensional chess." And then the rest of the Akazai who have been around him are like, "You complete buffoon, you absolute idiot." That's great.
Yeah. So if anything, Kinemon's been channeling their good luck, for having him as a comrade in arms. So we get some good views of the ships at sea. I think Oda wasn't lying in that author comment about wanting to draw a sea battle. Like you can see it here. But moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Page 4, Okiko says, "They're right, Master Ken. We won't let you die alone." And then Dogstorm says, "We serve Lord Odin together." And then everyone's just like supporting Kinemon, even though he's an idiot. And then Kinemon says, "It's cold comfort coming from a band of stinking men."
He means they need a shower, I think, is what he's.
luckily it's I guess maybe the rain will help. I don't know. I made a little like cheat card for myself because there are just so many characters in this scene in this arc, and I have trouble remembering everyone's names. And then Denjiro says, "Raise your katana, Ken. We've won the opening battle." And then I really like the bottom panel here. I think Viz tweeted this one out where Kinemon says, "Then I accept this fate. Let us avenge Lord Odin together." And then everyone's excited. Then the pirates are like, "Prepare the cannons." Who care? Then they're like, "There are so many people here. Who cares? We're in battleships, and all they have are ferries." And then Kanjuro, who's still on the beach with Momonosuke, says, "Time to report. I've completed my role. There's only one thing to do now." But then Kawamatsu jumps into the water and shows up on the beach to try to get Momonosuke back.
I did not notice the drawing of the crane on the beach right next to him there the first time going through
Oh, I
this.
didn't either.
Yeah. And he's using his right hand again. So I have to look back. I forgot to look back to confirm the left hand thing, but I believe people. People are usually correct.
I think they're going to make this look really cool, him swimming in the anime. Hopefully.
Yeah. Fishmen look really cool while swimming, as we'll discuss later. Ralph.
I like that they'd also do the trope where someone's like, "Hey, should we like tell them about this?" But the party is raging so hard that no one hears the phone ringing. Basically, it's like the cops are coming to shut us down. They don't realize it yet.
All right, so we have Kanjuro realizing that Kawamatsu's coming to attack, and we got a pretty good clash going. Kinemon yells, "Kawamatsu! You shall not have Lord Momonosuke." "Oh, but I will, Fishman. Kozuki is finished." And the bird starts to morph out of the ground, all cool like. Kawamatsu!
I like the sound
Momonosuke
effect
yells,
on the crane.
Zerd.
Which I know he uses a lot, I think, right, Steven? But it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty standard, like, just kind of...
It's a good ominous, yeah. It's like...
Right.
For a crane popping out of the ground, it's as ominous as it gets.
It's like, oh my god, a fault.
And then we got Kawamatsu yelling to Lord Momonosuke as the flapping of wings start to begin. And we have this huge crane that he drew that, again, it's really surprising to see him draw so well. He did such a good job just hiding that. But next, I will find Hiyori and kill her. Not that I know she's alive, or now that I know she's alive. And Kawamatsu, that really hits a nerve with him. "You knave, I see how smoothly that bird flies painted, that you've painted flies. But you never showed us anything but ugly monstrosities that washed away in water. For where are you, fools?" And then we have Momonosuke yelling, because it's definitely high up there. "It's too high, I'm scared, let me down." Either way, you will never triumph over Master Kaido's forces. You'll never set foot on this island. Ka.
It's a little too close to Korea's.
That's kind of mean of Kinemon to be like these ugly monstrosities.
Yeah, well, first off, it's especially mean, and I'm still conflicted about this, but Kanjuro's creations, and the reason I was so heartbroken about this whole turn, is they're like my favorite characters in the whole series. That bird, that poor bird, that Ryunosuke, others that I can't think of right now.
Has blood on his hands.
So someone mentioned, and it's probably true, how he's been drawing. The old drawings were just to taunt Kinemon, so the dragon, for example, and this one's to taunt him in a different way, since the crane is the symbol of the Kozuki clan, and also his wife, is a crane.
Suru, yeah.
Anyway, Steve, please continue.
Sure. So, Momonosuke, who has a fear of heights, he says, let me down. And it's like, I'm scared. Someone help! Like he's very olive oil right now. And Luffy looks up and he's like, Kanjuro, Momo, where are you going? Because he doesn't know yet. And the rest of the allies are like, he's got Lord Momonosuke. It's like, give him back, as they rah and put their hands in the air. But unlike the phrase, they do care. They do care that Momonosuke is being taken away. So then Sanji, he does his skywalk here, and he's like, I could assume here that Kanjuro is the mole here. And Robin also bracing herself, saying, that seems to be the case. We got to help him out. And Chopper was like, Luffy, Kanjuro's an enemy spy. He's like, he's capturing Momo. And Luffy says, or what, as it translates to. And he flies away, Kanjuro. He's like, time to abandon ship, or just get into the clouds. And Luffy says, really? This whole time? What a jerk. He's handling this very well.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is there a time that like Luffy was like not technically betrayed like this, but like I never I don't remember this kind of reaction from him. It's funny.
He's handling it pretty well. He's like, Kanjuro betrayed us? Oh, that's too bad. Usopp he offers to shoot him out of the sky, and as Sanji gets closer and closer, he notices a strange black cloud, and Kinemon yells to him, it's like, turn back, Sir Sanji, I have a bad feeling about this. And we see that these are ink clouds coming out of Kanjuro's hair, as he looks like, at first I couldn't see where his hands were. I see he's just like, he's tugging on his hair that's in front of his body, but I thought he was
his hair.
Well, Steven,
curtains.
I have hair.
On his
Can
face.
you milk me? The irony is, I don't have hair. No, I don't have much hair. I had to look closely. That's much better, because I thought he was doing some like Naruto ninja signs. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of appropriate for this arc. And Kinemon says, it's like, whatever he's doing, I've never seen this before. And then Kanjuro says, rain down, ink arrows, as we see something begin to fall from these clouds. And with a fwim and a crash, they start smashing crates as this one guy goes, oh, and they start, these are ink arrows that start shooting right through some of these allies. And Kanjuro refers to it as an ukiyo portrait, evening shower, as this fleet is now under attack. And I'm curious, is this based off of like another ukiyo painting at all, or is it just...
Well, evening shower is, of course, someone can give us the answer to that.
Is it Shigi's sword?
No, it's his nickname, Evening Shower.
Right,
Kanjuro.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's right.
I thought you were saying that, like, what's evening shower like a reference to culturally?
I don't know. I don't think, not as far as I know. I don't believe that this is a title,
Yeah,
but it could be.
I thought you were like, which ukiyo-e painting is titled Evening Shower? Like, I'm like, okay. I
You know,
don't know
that classic.
I'm Alex Trebek. Yeah.
Sam.
Yes, and we turn the page, and we've got Momo. He's like tugging on Kanjuro's sleeve, just saying, "Stop it, Kanjuro! They're all going to die." And Kanjuro, all menacing-like, is like, "Yes, that's right. They're finally going to die." And then, as Kanjuro monologues, we've got this image of Sanji jumping in the way of the ink arrows to protect Nami.
I really hope we get like a cool slow motion sacrifice in the anime. No.
If by cool you mean ridiculous, but sure.
Oh, why not?
And so Kanjuro is saying, your father Odin and mother Toki delayed their deaths by 20 years, dangling pointless hope before them. But the general all those brave and hardy samurai follow is just a wailing child without conviction, cowering from heights. Ka ka ka! What a joke. And Momono is quick to say, I know most of all that I am not Kozuki Odin. I know it better than anyone. And Kanjuro was a little annoyed. He didn't think Momonosuke was gonna like. It's more of a rhetorical monologue. It's not. He wasn't expecting a response. Momonosuke saying, "Can you all hear me?" The samurai down below are like, "Lord Momonosuke, is that you?" And so Momonosuke is shouting, "Do not fret about me. That's what the enemy wants you to do." And he's saying, "I will find a way to escape on my own, destroy Kaido and Orochi, and protect Wano." And he's like screaming and kind of crying. And he's thinking, on the inside, he's thinking, "I don't know how I can do it, but and if I say this, no one will rescue me." But he feels like it's something he's got to do. And so the samurai they're crying because of his bravery. And they're like, "Oh, the poor brave boy, such divine courage, Lord Momonosuke." And for probably, is this like the first time that Luffy is like respected something that Momonosuke's done? He's
second
like,
time.
Yes.
I'd say on Zo when he like finally, is able to say, "I will beat Kaido." Yeah, I think that's the first.
Wasn't the time where he like holds out his hand and then Momonosuke he doesn't understand handshake.
Yeah. Luffy had to like coax that response out of him. He's like, "Hey, be a leader, be a man." And
yes, this is the first
doing
time.
It yeah, of his own kind of volition. And Luffy's talking to himself. Yes, by Momo standards, he's being a real man.
Momo standards.
By Momo standards. And then on the next page, he follows that up by shouting back, "That's right, Momo. For such a cowardly, dumb little brat, you're just a kid with a top knot who's all talk." So he's basically doing the thing where like, Momo, you might be a dumb, annoying little kid, but you also suck.
At least he's being honest about it now.
Yeah.
Is that you said?
And the samurai are like, "Who is that? Cut him into it!" Like they're super pissed off at it. So yeah, they are of course ride or die for Lord Momonosuke. But Luffy, who has a much closer relationship to Momo over these last several adventures, calls back, "Find a way to survive. We'll go and rescue you, 'cause we're pals." And then there's this great like sequence of panels here where Momo is holding back the tears unsuccessfully and just silently nodding like repeatedly as the bird flies into the distance to Onigashima. It's like there's no way you could possibly see him doing it, but it's just like not. So he's he's summoning up his bravery to acknowledge Luffy's statement. And with that out of the way, so now our damsel is fully in distress, back at the enemy's lair, and so Luffy hops back over the frontispiece of the Sunny and says, "Let's go to Onigashima," and the crew is ready. You got it. And one of the ships, one of the enemy ships is escaping. And Luffy says, "Okay, well, they'll all be going the same direction." And Usopp is looking, "Wait, wasn't there supposed to be another ship?" And Luffy's like, "Oh, we already sank that one." I think probably referring to the one that they destroyed in the previous chapter. And meanwhile, Kinemon is looking back at the allied, the motley crew of samurai and yakuza and so on. And he's shouting, "Are you all well?" And they've already patched up their sails after the rain of arrows. And they say, "We have a few damaged ships and casualties. Well, let's hurry and land on the island. Nothing could be worse than to die at sea." They're already committed to giving up their lives. They at least want to land first before they die, so they can die in battle. And now Shinobu, who of course had been watching over Momonosuke, is apologizing to Kinemon for failing him. But he says, "The important thing is that you're well. They will not take Lord Momonosuke's life. He's their hostage. He's too important." And meanwhile, Raizo is catching up with Denjiro. "What happened to your face?" And
oh my God, what happened to your face?
Denjiro's answer is just, "Plenty. Let's hurry. It's good to see you." He's like, "I don't need to explain this to you."
Yeah. Raizo, your face. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, to be fair, Raizo is not one to speak about faces. Kawamatsu, I like.
Yeah, freaking Dendro should have been like, well, at least I'm not shaped like a damn Funko Pop.
I like how Kawamatsu's also giving Shinobu kind of the evil eye here, like, oh, you fucked up. Anyway, that's what it looks like in that panel. We go to the next page here, as we see Law yelling, hey, this isn't your samurai garrison, and saying that, look, we appreciate your help, and that's what Dogstorm and Kiru are saying to Law. And Law saying, I'm not helping you. Get off. Get the hell off my ship. Law likes helping, but he doesn't like admitting he's helping. That's the gist of that.
It's like a tsundere when it comes to helping people.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, idiot. I'm not helping you.
Meanwhile, Kid actively doesn't want to help anyone. He's like, just don't let the Straw Hats get the jump on us. Like, Kid has sibling rivalry to deal with, and that's it. Not actual sibling rivalry, but brothers in arms, so to speak here. And a cannon flews into frame and hits at least one of the samurai ships there with a kaboom. And Usopp notices that it came, he is the sharpshooter after all, that it came from one of the fleeing ships. And Frankie is like, long distance cannon? And Usopp shocked here that they were just measuring the distance from, and Nami noticing from that far away with her binoculars in tow. And here come the cannons. This is a really cool spread here. These are some freaking huge cannons. I really like the perspective on them here. It just doesn't look like anything I've seen in One Piece. We also haven't really seen very many at sea battles, as we noted at the beginning of this chapter.
It was a clever, I think a clever choice by Oda that he didn't have these like long battleship cannons ever depicted before. It was always like the classic, like short ones. So that's why these really stick out so much. Yeah,
and just the way that it's a really striking panel. I like it a lot. It's not like anything I feel like we've seen. And here they are laughing the pleasures, I assume, because that's what they do. And saying that the weapons of Wano are high precision because everything in Wano is awesome and better than everywhere else. He says, thanks to the weapon factory, we got a whole array at our disposal, as you might recall. They are the weapons dealers, basically, for the world. And that goes back several arcs here. Anyway, he says, let's see you try and fly at us again, suckers. And here's Catman, who is one of the Yakuza, saying, pull back, more distance. And it doesn't seem to work because one of these ships gets pummeled. Ralph.
And we have Law here. Damn it, I thought that was fishy that they ran off so willingly. Full speed ahead. We gotta get closer. Sink all the samurai ships you want. See if I care. And as just full bombardment is going on the ships. Then we have Denjiro here. If they manage to maintain this distance, we'll all be sunk. As more explosions are going off. Da ha ha, this battle's already over. We're untouchable back here. Huh? And then we hear spear wave. As this really big wave of water pierces through the ship. There's a huge hole in the ship, as everyone seems a little confused. Our long distance cannons. And then we have Brooke here going, there's something happening over there. Maybe they were being killed by a vengeful spirit of a baby who died at sea.
Robin is, I love Robin.
Robin, of course, with the darkness.
Carrot is horrified. Look at that.
Yeah.
At this point, that sounds cuddly. What's going on?
Wait, does Carrot have just the 2 eye thing that they had?
Yeah,
Chopper back in Hulk
dots.
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead.
Well, if there's any babies to watch out for, it's the vengeful ones. You got to watch out for those.
Especially
the vengeful spirit. Yeah, the spirits of babies. Go ahead.
Is someone out there? Well met, good people. Begging your pardon.
Ed.
3 exclamation points, question mark, another exclamation point.
Yeah. Oh, before you do this, I just want to point out that Joey kind of gave me a head start on explaining this. If you followed his Twitter, that this this pose here with the extended hand, the hand that is held low and pointed upwards, is a sign for a classic Japanese thing called Jingi o Kiru, which means it's basically like to follow the code, so to speak, and it's something that it's like a Yakuza thing, and it's also going back further. It's sort of like a gambler's thing or like a wandering vagabond sort of thing, where it's a sign of kind of like supplication, like the hand that is low and pointed upwards is saying like, I'm coming beneath you. I am prostrating myself and showing that you are my better, and as a means of introduction to say it's kind of like the classic guest rights in Europe, for example, where it's like, I'm a guest in your territory and I'm showing that I am humble and humbling myself, and that I will play by the rules, so to speak. Is basically just saying like, I'm not fishy. Like I'm here to I'm a stand-up guy, and so that's what this whole speech is kind of about.
All right. Should I start?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I hail from the Fishman district of Ryugu Kingdom on the bottom of the sea. I am but a humble newcomer to this group, having imposed upon folks left and right, despite receiving a ritual cup from the boss of the Straw Hat crew. They call me Jimbei, first son of the sea. And you can see the different response from the Straw Hats and from the Samurai.
Since when is that your Jimbei voice? I don't ever remember you doing that voice for Jimbei.
Yeah, it has
whatever
it has
it has
a bit
to
more
be.
of a. Yeah, you added a bit more of like a southern twang to it.
No, he sounds
New
like
Orleans.
he sounds like a Thrilling Adventure Hour. The what's his face? Anyway, go ahead.
I would have said Tom Waits.
Also, I mean, look, it's not inappropriate. I just don't ever remember you doing that voice. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I just love the way they show the different reactions. The Samurai have no idea who this is.
Yeah.
Law, on the other hand, Law and Kid are just, they can't believe what's going on. Are you kidding? He's joining the Straw Hats. But Jimbei continues. For the sake of a long and fruitful relationship, I would be pleased to make your acquaintance. Sorry for forcing you to wait like that, but I've come back live just as I promised. Luffy-kun. Right.
Thank you.
So
there we go.
This is the Straw Hat crew helmsman, Jimbei, first son of the sea, bounty 438 million. I'm glad I made it in time for the battle. And Luffy, stars in his eyes. Jimbei, like 3 exclamation points.
3 eyes at the end of Jimbei.
Jimbei!
Yeah, everyone's so
Jimbei the third.
Yeah. And no extra week to wait this time. So
Jimbei the 6th in Japan.
Oh my god.
Big Uncle Jim.
everyone's very happy.
So we kind of glossed over the thing in the Oda box there. We said it, but like Straw Hat Crew helmsman. So it's official for the first time. I just want to put things in perspective before we go around the room here, and not the actual room. We're virtually doing this because otherwise we'd get arrested. But what I want to say,
Zach, there's no other difference. We have not changed how we recorded the show at all. Stop alluding to that. Continue.
Thank you, Steve. I want to say we've been doing this podcast for around 11 years, and Jimbei has been a character in One Piece for that entire time. He got introduced maybe the year before I think we started recording.
Zach, he was introduced in the Arlong arc.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, shut up. You know what I mean.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean he's been a actual present member of the story this entire time, and I'd say
Well, except for the large parts he's been absent.
well, shut up. Why is everyone trying to undermine me this week?
So the rest of the Straw Hats, Zach, you don't see us making a big deal about it.
Okay, what did you guys think of this chapter? Shannon.
I loved it. I love Jimbei, and I'm so happy this is like kind of finally happened. How many of y'all got spoiled on it?
I did.
I did not. Not me.
I did get spoiled.
Steven, did you? Steven's always scot-free.
Like I said, all I saw was a
I just
thumbnail.
stayed off Twitter.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Because all I saw was a thumbnail of a picture, and all I saw was the pattern on Jimbei's Jimbei, and I was like, damn it.
Well, the thing is, I just want to say
excited that I yelled out loud when I read the chapter today. It was great.
Oh, wow. I mean, but we knew it was coming, and we knew it was coming soon because it was also set up like this. It's not like this wasn't foreshadowed to be happening soon, because not only right before the flashback was Luffy like, Jimbei, where are you out there in the vast sea?
I'm not spoiled that Jimbei is the helmsman because he said like, I could be a good helmsman in Whole Cake Island, and then also his Vivre card, like the merchandise Vivre cards, list him as a Straw Hat. The spoiler is just, Jimbei shows up in this chapter.
No, I know, but
I would not have. I did not have Jimbei on the. I know Jimbei was going to come back in this arc, but I thought, I don't know. A lot's been going on. I don't know if he's going to come back just yet. So.
No, I kind of did. I don't know if I thought it would be this specific chapter, but I was thinking it was going to be before they got to Onigashima, only because we kind of got an introduction to all of the other Straw Hats, and someone mentioned this to me a few weeks ago, but we didn't really get that big spread of all the Straw Hats, which seemed kind of out of place. And also that Jimbei kind of needs to be part of this battle. It just, like they kind of have been planting those seeds. That's what I was going to say, Steve. Not necessarily that I'm surprised he's coming back, because of course he was supposed to, but I'm not surprised it was at this moment. But at the same time, getting spoiled does suck, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, go ahead. Sorry, we.
You're good. I asked the question because this is it's like you said. I'm not surprised that he came back. Of course, I would have been surprised if he didn't come back. That would have been a big shock. Jimbei died off screen or something. But yeah, I love this scene. I love Law and Kid's reactions are really funny. They're jealous and pissed off and confused that Luffy has a really cool friend. I'm happy I got to read it in context. I just sort of stay off Twitter if I start to feel like I'm gonna get spoiled on something. But yeah, I mean the rest of the chapter is pretty good, but this is one that I'm gonna remember for the return of Jimbei. And for him having a really cool dramatic scene where everyone's excited. I think
two things. First of all, unfortunately, I have to be on the front lines of Twitter and the podcast. So I get I get those spoilers all the time, and I just have to live with that, unfortunately.
You're like Sanji protecting everyone else.
That's exactly. And just as stupidly and always in slow motion. I'm always clicking in slow motion, oh, crap.
You have hearts in your eyes. You're protecting.
I'm protecting Steve.
Well, I still got hit by a stray arrow anyway.
That's true. That's true.
It was because of your thread.
But only one. You only got hit by one stray arrow.
It's only one stray arrow. What was I going to say? I think we mentioned before, and Sam, I think you actually were the one who said, when we asked, what's your favorite moment of the post-time skip so far, Jimbei's speech on Whole Cake Island kind of still comes up as, the one to Big Mom saying, I am no longer part of your crew, I'm joining the Straw Hats, basically. So, Jimbei, if there is one role he is going to fulfill in the future, it's making badass speeches, I feel like, and he did so here again. Ralph, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really like how well Kanjuro is playing the villain. He's doing a really good job. I always thought of him kind of like a fool, but he's playing a great villain.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. It's great seeing Jimbei. Poor guy had to swim for a good 75 chapters because I think the last time we saw him was 901. But super happy to have him back. I think that's going to be like the general thing is just Jimbei's back. Everyone's happy.
We could all go home now.
Yeah, we're done. That's it. That's the podcast. Sam, what did you think of this one?
Absolutely wonderful chapter. Like ever since like Jimbei stayed behind Whole Cake Island, like every couple of like every month or so, I would be like, I think Jimbei is about to come back. I can feel it, and then he just never comes back. So this is a vindicating moment where it finally all snaps into place. I'm still waiting to find out what are we gonna gain from the fact that Jimbei kind of took a sabbatical? Like, is he gonna come in with something that he brought in from the outside world, or is he gonna bring Luffy news about like Sabo and Vivi?
Maybe I'm playing too much Animal Crossing, but maybe he just comes back with a bunch of shells and he's like, "Look what I found, guys! I was gone for 75 chapters and I have a bunch of shells."
Some new dials for Usopp.
Maybe he went to Tarantula Island and just unleashes every tarantula on Onigashima. Apes.
They're not as big.
I love seeing kind of Momo's story develop. This is more or less kind of the arc I've been expecting for him, where he's sort of in the world of pirates, like posturing is kind of like a big accepted thing that everyone's like shouting, like, I'm going to be king of the pirates, I'm going to be this. And there's a lot of respect to be given to like honest posturing, even if you can't like back it up, as long as you like mean it. That's the kind of stuff that Luffy respects. Like, Momonosuke does not need to be his dad. He doesn't need to be the big, tough, manly man who can win any fight, but he does need to like have a backbone, which is what he's demonstrating here. And I love seeing the Akazai 9 like just kind of goof around at that first panel of them just like giving Kinemon shit. It's like it's so funny, and it's like so humanizing that, like it really just makes them feel like a bunch of like weird buds.
Let's go with Steven.
This is a really fun chapter. I do appreciate, and I definitely, it was not lost on me that Oda was kind of building up a naval battle in a way that he had never done before. And he had talked about that in some of his interviews where, it was like it was tricky trying to plot out or depict a naval battle with ships that wasn't just, a couple guys fighting in a panel. I thought he did a pretty good job of kind of depicting that and demonstrating that in this chapter. So props to him for kind of going a little bit out of his comfort zone. And his author comment was definitely applicable here. So I guess the other thing is, as far as the Jinbei thing, obviously it's great. It's a happy moment. I think his speech was pretty cool. I don't know. I guess the actual like appearance where he just kind of busts up a ship that is shooting at them from a distance is maybe not the craziest and most exciting or exotic like way for him to make an entrance that I could have imagined. It works, but I think in like a more long-term like meta story sense, I think I'm sort of like at the point where I'm like, okay, so you made his entrance, that's cool, that was great. Now, like Sam was saying, why did we have to wait so long? What's the explanation going to be? And I'm sure there will be something of interest that Oda will have. It's not just going to be like, hey, sorry I was late. Okay, what are we doing now? There will be, some more stuff of value that comes with his introduction back into the story. But I'm really curious to know what that is because, as of this present moment, and, I said as much right after he dipped out at the end of Whole Cake Island, that I really didn't like that story choice, and I would need to be convinced of why it needed to happen. And so now I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's hear what the reasoning is. So I'm looking forward to that. And I guess lastly, I did think it was interesting the way that they that Oda is going to use Momonosuke as the to kind of provide that extra incentive, that goal to to finish this raid. It's not just like go rush in there and beat the bad guy. It's also they need to save their one of their own who is kidnapped. And I think it kind of makes it all kind of makes sense in a story construction way, because like obviously the sensible thing is that Momonosuke should not be anywhere near any of this happening right now, of course. Like, he's just a kid. Like, what is he doing in this battle? But by having him here, Oda can not only get him captured like this to provide extra incentive, but he's also, rousing the troops. It's depicting what Momonosuke's importance is to Wano, that he needs to be this leader, even though he's just a little kid. Like, also, it's important that he is a symbol of hope.
I think personally for Momonosuke, he was present with Kaido when Kaido came to the castle. So he has to confront Kaido, I think, face to face. I mean, he's not going to fight him or anything, but he has to confront him. He has to, face his fear. Face his fear of the dragon. So
yeah. And I think that this all, the way that sequence of events worked out to have him, going to Onigashima, and then, whatever character drama that Ed was just referring to between him and Kaido, that makes that possible too. So I liked the way that that was handling. That was a good sequence of events. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to next week.
Steve.
I really like this chapter, mainly because it did one of the things I've wanted to see in One Piece for quite a while, and that was a seafaring battle. Because I always thought that might have been like an end game kind of thing for One Piece, but just getting a little bit of it now, it's so damn satisfying. Like, this is the kind of stuff we would always see in One Piece openings, but never in the actual show. So this was awesome. I like that Zach took the time to talk about how great that canon panel is, because Oda used some foreshortening to show that these are very long cannons, and it's a great looking shot there. Some of the other things I liked, Jimbei coming back. That's pretty much, that's the main takeaway from this chapter, is the return of Jimbei doing that cool Yakuza pose. Thought it was great. I felt like, well, I guess it's a dire enough situation, but I think that one chapter after the other, this has just been huge surprise after huge surprise, because we come out of the flashback and Kanjuro is the traitor, and then the Straw Hats are back, but also allying with I wouldn't say allying, but teaming up with Kid and Law, and then now Jinbei's back. It's just been one thing after the other. It's been nonstop, but doesn't mean it's bad or it's too much too soon. All of this has been great, and I think it's just a reward. And I don't want to necessarily say enduring the flashback, but for reading a flashback that went close to half a year, we're getting our reward for sitting tight and waiting for Luffy and the rest of the main characters to return to the story. Other than that, it's just really fun, and I liked what Steven had to say about Jimbei. I really hope there was a good excuse and not just Jimbei's car broke down. So
the flashback was our winter of discontent.
It was awesome, and that's all I have to say.
You guys have said pretty much everything, but what I wanted to add is that I appreciate how everyone in the situation is reacting. It's sort of consistently, I think, in character. Law and Kid are it's they're get off my ship, or they the most important thing to them was that Jimbei was joining the Straw Hats. It's oh god, they're even stronger. But the samurai not reacting at all to Jimbei, and the Straw Hats all losing their shit completely. They're so excited about it. It's that was really funny to me, and so I just wanted to add that. And that was the one thing I had that you guys hadn't already talked about.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to add either, other than Jimbei is back, and maybe he's not going to leave this time. I feel like I've been hurt. Been hurt so many times in the past.
Fingers crossed.
Jimbei, sorry, not to steal your thunder real quick, but Jimbei was like, "Hey, I'm back, and I got the cigarettes I said I was going out for." You would not believe the lines.
I'm back, but one of my crewmates came down with coronavirus. I have to isolate myself. See you later.
God. Yeah, it's got to be hard to get cigarettes under the ocean. So yeah, this was a great chapter. Ralph did mention Kawamatsu, and I love how over the top evil he is. Just like every line. Kanjuro. No, Kawamatsu is not over the top evil. Kawamatsu is over the top amazing.
Another plot twist. Not
him too.
Kawamatsu chases after Kanjuro to be like, "Kanjuro, stop right there. Don't you think about taking away Lord Momonosuke without me."
I like how Kanjuro's bangs make his eyes like scary now. He has very menacing dark eyes.
He's the I mean, we said this from, I think, the beginning. His design is ridiculous looking. It remains ridiculous looking, which is not so unusual. It's Oda we're talking about. Yeah, I love all the little details in this chapter. This was a really good one. I love the I hate Momonosuke. Generally as a character, even after everything, like, he is still kind of annoying. I'll put it that way, and skeevies at times. But I enjoy his relationship with Luffy, specifically. It's always cool to see Luffy, say someone sucks, but in a endearing way. I always enjoy that. And also, I know we talked about this before. Luffy in a coat or cape or whatever coat, I guess is what Steve.
Zach. It's a coat.
Shut up. It's still great. And seeing
Kid was wearing a
here
cape too.
Yeah, is that? Well, yeah, that's a coat there. That one, or is that a cape? I don't know. It's a good question. I can't tell if those are arms or if it's just waving in the wind. Anyway, I still can't tell you. I'm looking at all the panels. Anyway, yeah, great chapter. I don't really have much else to say. Any final thoughts from anyone?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Let's move on into the next segment.
This is the anime recap for episode 927, Pandemonium, the monster snake Shogun Orochi. I'm your host Sam, and today with me once again, we have Ed.
Hello. Good episode this week. They do that thing that I like where they don't show too many different stories at once. So it's actually pretty much the same characters as last week.
I think that may be my problem with this episode.
Yeah?
Yeah. But the title card begins at 4 minutes and 4 seconds, and it opens with Chopper. He's backing away from Big Mom. He's trying to figure out what to do now that it's clear she seems to have amnesia. And, like, Tama almost tells her, like, oh, yeah, I heard your name was Big Mom, but, like, Chopper has to stop her, and he has to come up with a new name because he doesn't want her remembering who she really is. So they come up with Olin. And Big Mom seems happy with this, or as we should be calling her from this point forward, she's Olin. Olin likes her name Olin. And we come back, and it's Orochi talking about the Akazaya 9, and Kyoshiro promises, he's being kind of cheeky, he's like, oh, don't worry, if we ever fought those Kinemon and the Akazaya 9, I would happily draw swords with them and fight them on your behalf. And Orochi thinks that Kyoshiro is very dependable because of this.
I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a pretty tense scene, although it did kind of get a little repetitive, but it was sort of a slow build. I liked how they stayed with it and they built it up until they got the episode, the eye catcher. That's where they do when she starts laughing. So it sort of builds up into that.
Yeah.
And it builds tension.
I feel like I got the main points of this first half of the episode last week already. Like Orochi, he's talking about the ghosts, and his men are like kind of embarrassed to be listening to him, and I feel like that stuff. I thought that stuff was. I thought this scene was in last week's episode. Like now that it's happening here, I'm like, oh yeah, here's more of the specifics that we saw in the manga. But I feel like I already got the idea by this point.
There was the second half of the episode was better.
Yeah. So we do have he's going on. He's ranting about ghosts and the poem that Toki stated, and talking about how there's been troublemakers cutting down people who work for him, referring to Sanji and Zoro, and he's like, okay, well, they might be a part of this. And Toko's there, she's listening, and she starts laughing. She's thinks that this is hilarious. All the his men, Orochi's henchmen, also think he's kind of a joke, but they're not saying anything. They know better. But Otoko either doesn't know to keep it quiet, or she just like literally can't not laugh. Right. And so she starts laughing, and Orochi is furious. He starts to go Kaioken.
Yeah, I dig how scary they make him in this. Yeah.
And Orochi kind of goes like storming at her, like trying to attack this little girl, and he's bragging about how he's the one who defeated Oden, and he's very vindictive about making sure that people know that. And so he attacks Toko, and that's when Komurasaki steps in the way and just slaps him. And there's some great like flute music.
Yeah, like they heighten the moment. I think the anime does a good job of doing it in anime style without just they adapted it and made it more by animating it.
And that brings us to the Aiketsu episode. I'm kind of the first half of my notes were pretty vague, just because there wasn't a whole lot of
specifics. It was a lot of the same stuff, and a lot of tension building, which I liked. But yeah, it was kind of they were driving the point home.
And so we come back, and Komurasaki is making a big show about how she refuses to bow down. Orochi he's kind of like surprised by this, slap, and he's like, but Komurasaki, I was gonna make you my wife. You're gonna be the wife of the Shogun. And Komurasaki's like, that's not all that impressive to me. If you want a weak woman, then go ahead and cut me down. I'm a samurai's daughter. And so she's just being cool. And Orochi is furious, and he transforms, and we get to see his devil fruit form in its full glory. He's the snake fruit Yamata no Orochi model. And the anime definitely gives him a pretty distinct color scheme, where like the main head is like kind of a darker color than the kind of extra heads.
They make Komurasaki look very, very very cool in this episode. She's very, she's very upright. She's very, very good person.
Yeah, and she's making speeches about how if I believe that I'm in the right, then I will not budge an inch. Mm-hmm. Just all conviction. And she continues to taunt Orochi a little bit, like saying like, oh, whoever falls in love loses out. Like you're the one who loves me, therefore you're kind of at my whim here.
Right.
And then the snakes are going all over the place, and they're just like chomping dudes and eating dudes. And Robin takes Otoko, and she starts running, trying to protect her. And Otoko recognizes her from the soba shop, and Robin is just happy that she seems to be doing okay. And that's when like the main head of Orochi bites down, and it's not like a big deal to get bitten by these snakes. They got these like blunt looking teeth, but but Orochi he grabs Komurasaki. He's like lifting her in the air, just like tossing her about. And we get a little cutaway of Brook, and he's still chasing the ninjas around. He's still spooking them.
Well, the ninjas that comes full circle. They spot Robin. So
yeah, they spot Robin there, but it's in the middle of mayhem. They're doing this while like Orochi is going wild. And the final scene of the episode is Kyoshiro. He's just having like this really good like maniacal laugh. Like he's so delighted by the chaos, and he declares pandemonium, which is the title of the episode. And he's like, just seems like a super interesting figure in this story, as he's like grabbing his sword, he's glowing, he's about to like do something really cool, and he slashes the to be continued card, so we get another like stylish to be continued card, like the third one in a row. And that about covers it. It's pretty quick, but what were your general thoughts on the episode?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I can see how the first half could be repetitive, but I thought it built tension well, and they did flourishes, I think, with like how like Kyoshiro and Orochi get to have their powers be depicted. So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, it was sort of a little bit low on content overall, but I liked where it was going.
Yeah, for me, the bulk of it is too slow. It's too repetitive. We're treading ground that I thought was pretty well established previously. I did like it once things started to get going. Like once Komurasaki's making her stand, once Kyoshiro starts to like get interesting, especially with what we know about Kyoshiro in the story. It's like I'm like watching these episodes, like trying to piece together like, you know, like how, you know, where is he like coming from emotionally here? And I feel like the anime has really added to his scene here at the very least. It just makes him seem like just a really wild, compelling figure. But then that about does it. I don't have much more to say. Anything else you guys want to?
No, I'm good. I said my piece.
All right. Nice quick one. All right. I think we can move on to the next segment.
This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories, and then they get stolen by Jimbei III. Ed, what's our first segment called?
DSPs.
Yes, it's time to take your Discord questions. So what do our patrons have for us this week? Sam.
Our first disc piece comes from SBS Stella, who says, "Hey, OPP, here are some One Piece characters as Seinfeld side characters to think about in these trying times. Vito is Man Hands. Corazon is the close talker. Dragon is Elaine's communist boyfriend. Panda Man is Bob Sacamano. Got any others?"
No. Bob Sacamano is the opposite. Where I can't believe I'm talking about this.
If anything, Vegapunk would be Bob Sacamano.
Yes, exactly. Bob Sacamano is the person you hear about all the time but never see.
Panda Man
is exactly the opposite of Panda. Yeah, exactly. But it's Bob Sacamano has the rat fur hat or something ridiculous like that. Anyway, side characters. Who's Newman? Besides Blackbeard.
Walpole?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He almost eats Kramer, so anyway, or Big Mom. Maybe it's Big Mom.
Kramer's Brooke.
Anyway, this is good. Only 4 people are going to get this, and I already hear the silence in just here. So maybe we should move to the next question.
Now you know how it feels.
Wait a sec. Should I be saying that to you? Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so our next disc piece comes from Coder, who says, "Hey, OPP, for the eventual Wano cover story, which characters would you like to see? For me, maybe a cover story where Toko, Momonosuke, and Tama become close friends, or a cover story about Cat Viper and Dogstorm returning to Zou. Maybe we will get more than one because there are just so many characters."
Well, we still haven't. Go ahead.
I prefer Cat Viper and Dogstorm. I like that they have a good dynamic.
I want to see Conjuro's quest to find an emotion.
Since she apparently it doesn't seem like she's going to play a big role left in the story. I would love to see like Otama doing the Momotaro thing and like recruiting a bunch of cute little animals with her cheek dumplings. Just like, just going on like an errand trip or something like that.
I think she is going to still play a big role in the story.
Like that Ace stuff,
especially since you have the Animal Kingdom, and the Ace stuff, and the Animal Kingdom pirates, and she has I think I think Otama is definitely coming back in some. I mean, I'd love to see that story. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Sam.
Oh, ready to move
Next question.
The next question comes from Straw Hat Pirate 9, who says, "Guess who's back? Back again. Jimbei's back. Tell a friend. The Eminem song just popped in there. Sorry." But yes, so freaking happy. We can really get into this battle. We can really get this battle started now. It really just hit me as I was reading the last page that no one outside the Straw Hats except for Carrot knew about Jimbei being in their crew, which made Law and Kid's reactions that much more priceless. This battle is going to be so good.
Yeah, that's a good point. That they wouldn't have known. That's pretty. It's good on Oda for keeping track of details like that, of like who knows what about what other characters.
Yeah, because I feel like I probably would have expected like Law or somebody to say something like, "Oh yeah, I heard about Jimbei doing the such and such."
Mm-hmm. It's funny that every time Jimbei shows up, Law's not there. Maybe they were the same person. Maybe not.
Just Law putting on like a big sumo suit.
Paints his face blue.
It's like I was a tsundere, but the truth is I wanted to be on the crew the whole time.
This is the only way I could do it. To dress up as a giant fish.
It turns out there's never been an actual Jimbei. It's just Law the entire time.
Yeah. What's next?
And then our final this piece comes from our good friend Joe, who says, "Your favorite Tontada got a spot right on Luffy's knee. Looks like Oda didn't forget Flapper."
That's right.
Can't forget Flapper.
Don't forget about me, Flapper. Ed, what's the next part of our Piece Together segment called?
Is it emails?
Yes, it is.
Right.
We've been doing this for how long, and you're still confused that we do
the email
emails.
jingle is my new favorite jingle now. Is it email?
Shift from AP Forum says it was chapter 577, the moment that Jimbei told Luffy, "You have to live," that I realized that he would be the next Straw Hat. I never imagined it'd take 10 years, 400 chapters to get here, but here we are at last. Finally, welcome aboard, Jimbei. You want to know something even crazier? It took 10 years between the time we first hear his name and the time we first see his silhouette in Impel Down. So 20 years later, you could say, here we are. Or 22 at this point. But anyway.
That's Oda for you. Yeah. Always. Yeah. He's 10 steps ahead.
And 20 years behind.
That's why they call them all thinking ahead, Oda.
Next one comes from Alan. Got spoiled on Jimbei returning this week from a reply on your tweet about not reading scans and supporting the official release. Steve, that was literally what happened to you, right?
Yeah. I should have known.
So is this from you?
Yeah. I also wear a sumo suit and pretend to be somebody else.
He continues, though. I don't get why people feel the need to read scans, but then to go and post spoilers specifically to people you know are waiting for the official release. It's such a dick thing to do. Some people really suck. I think part of the reason people get so defensive about reading scans is because deep down they know they are wrong but don't want to admit it. Keep up the good work and keep fighting the good fight for the official release. Steve, you were going to say something else, though.
I don't know. I don't know. It's so much that yes, I know I'm wrong, but it's like, how dare you? I think it's just there's a lot of instant gratification, and there's a lot of things on the internet that people just take for granted or assume that it's free. And hell, there's some people maybe years ago, and probably there still are some people that think some of these sites like, oh no, this is the place you go to get manga. Yeah,
absolutely.
They have no idea.
And there's that like dopamine hit of like being the one to like tell somebody else about something cool.
Yep.
Yeah, even just to tell someone like news generally, there's a little bit. But I think the biggest reason, because it's what kept me into still reading scans when I did, is to avoid spoilers like the one from this week. Is the only way to do it is to read scans. So then you say, okay, so Why should I stop? The reason is for each person who stops reading scans, that's, a little bit less that the scans have even reason to exist. So
It's like
less of an
social
audience for them.
distancing.
It is 100% like social distancing. For you, it might not make perfect sense in your scheme, but if everyone stops reading scans, the coronavirus will stop. That's all I have to say. Next question comes
one
from
last
Myra.
thing
and
I
she-
just want to remind you,
Yeah.
because this is something I kind of forget even myself. On Manga, Manga Plus and Shonen Jump, the chapter is free. It's the backlog you pay for. That's something even I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't even have to pay for it. It's free now.
the last 3 chapters and the first 3, I think. Although I think there have been some sales and stuff, especially with everything that's going on. I know in Japan the first 61 volumes are free right now because of what's going on. I don't know if that's something Viz is going to do, but it's not I wouldn't say that that's a bad idea, because if you're reading 61 volumes, you're going to want to keep reading. I get it. But the thing is, it's only $2 anyway a month to read it if you have access to it in Shonen Jump. Manga Plus is a different story if you're abroad. Anyway.
Well met, good
Myers.
people. Meh, begging your pardon. I hail from the Columbia district of the eastern coast of the United States. And I'm
Jesus.
but a humble old comer to this group, having imposed upon folks left and right despite receiving a ritual cup from the boss of the One Piece podcast. They call me Alex, first son of the sink. It's on account of how many times I wash my hands a day. For the sake of a long and fruitful relationship, I will be pleased to make your acquaintance upon this episode.
Well, first of all, you interrupting jerk. We already heard this speech from someone else already.
Oh, let me guess. Did you say, hey, Calculon's back?
Okay.
Did
let's
you?
go to the next question.
No, actually, we didn't until we started picking episode titles.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so the next, Alex, glad for you to join us. There's sparkles in my eyes and my mouth is making a weird, like,
An ooh.
whoa, kind of, ooh. So nice to have you with us, Alex. So next question comes from Myra, and she says, I hope you're all doing well despite the current situation, and I'm grateful that you're still keeping the podcast going, as it is a welcome distraction from the boredom of self-quarantine. With that said, I have a question for you. You've previously made predictions for when current arcs would end and how long they would go for, i.e. how many chapters. But have you done one for the series itself? Have you made any predictions for exactly how many chapters One Piece will end up being? If you haven't, then I would very much like to hear your guys' prediction. And if you've already done it, mind giving us a reminder. Anyway, thank you for the podcast. And remember, wash your hands. Are we bold enough to do this? Are we bold enough?
Sounds familiar.
No, we haven't. We definitely
I remember
haven't
saying
for the whole series.
Okay, never mind then.
No, Sam, I want to hear what your recollection is.
I feel like I remember saying like I think it's going to be like 1,200, which sounds about right.
Well, we have like most of the main crew here today. Do you want to try it? I mean, it doesn't. Hopefully, we won't find the actual answer to this out for a really long time. And I would have forgotten I have done this by then.
Another index card for Zach to lose.
Do you want to make those like long-term bets?
Yeah. So wait, what should we bet here? Like, we should do like a real bet, because this is the end of the series.
Well,
bet host the next episode after the last one.
See, I can't make that the reward.
we could always bet our lives.
Ooh, I like that.
Most dangerous game.
Wait, so does everyone else lose their life except for the person that wins?
It's like it's
fair.
sort of like a reverse tontine, right? Like instead of the last one living gets to keep the pot.
I was gonna say the winner gets to choose who they kill.
Yeah.
No, we should do a tontine. That's a good idea, Alex.
Yeah.
Like the last one standing will win, obviously. So the one who gets closest.
Or we
but
can
wait,
do
what are we?
or we can do a tauntaun where the last one standing has to cut open their belly and everybody has to crawl inside.
Oh, you broke me. What about this? I'm trying, but the thing is, we all already own One Piece like 10 times over. Like, I'm trying to think of like a One Piece related prize.
Can we give this some
we
time
could, like,
and not just try to think of this all in like one go?
Yeah, you know what? We'll think of a prize at some time eventually. But I'll do this. Whatever the prize is, you know, we'll use whatever, if her Patreon still exists in 2094. We could give something out to a winner. We could make it a full contest too, and then also to someone
Zach,
here.
I don't think any of us are gonna still exist in 2094.
Well, that's the thing. It will be binding as to whether or not any of us are still here.
Not with that attitude.
But okay.
Our descendants will get
Steven.
to choose.
Steven, do you want to pick a number? When do you think One Piece will end? What chapter?
1250.
1250.
So I'm saying
Alex.
125 volumes. That's what I.
Let's see. I'll say 1300.
1300. We're not playing Price is Right rules. We're literally
No.
just
I know.
doing
Yeah.
closest here.
I don't know. I'm accounting for Oda having an idea for a fun arc.
No. That's fine. Steve.
1350.
Sam.
1180.
Maddie. If you're there.
1380.
I'll say 1333.
Ed. And I'm gonna say 1500. Okay, so we'll obviously get more of a consensus there. And if you guys out there have ideas for prizes that you'd like in the next 30 to 50 years, please let me know. So that's that question, which ended up producing some interesting results. That's it for emails. Steven, what do we have on Reddit?
All right. Our first question is from Lord Nemo 593, who says, why does the Reddit segment not have a name or a call out like this piece to tweet, etc.? I have a name idea for the Reddit segment. If so, R piece, where it says 4 R's, R piece, where you say the R like a true pirate would say it. And Pepsi Shake adds in the comment, Red D it.
Steven, this is like basically your segment, so you can choose from which
to decide.
I like
decide between those two.
I do like Red D it.
Yeah,
Steven, you choose. It's all you.
I feel like in punniness, I'm like, okay, both of these are like sort of good. They're not quite there yet.
You could come up with something better if you want. Yeah, you don't have to do it right now. You could think about it.
Yeah. How about when the series is over, then I'll reveal the you know how many chapters it is. All right. Pepsi Shake has their own question. Do you expect a 1v1 Luffy Kaido fight? And do you think Momosuke, oh, is this Brian? Do you think Momosuke Dragon Ball will get an upgrade during this arc?
Momonosuke is still just a child, really.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I do like the idea of a one-on-one Kaido Luffy fight.
I think it'll like move between like group fights and a one-on-one fight.
I think that there's going to be a Kid, Law, and Luffy against Kaido thing happening.
Ooh, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought about it. And I'm like, Kid could just be like, okay, see you guys. I'm out for myself. But he definitely wants to take on Kaido. He wants revenge. And this is like part of Law's plan. So
I could see both of them hitting the final blow on Kaido, and then just they continue to bicker on who was the one that hit Kaido first and who took him out.
That would be fun.
That'd be great.
See that being a thing.
The Sea Kings says, I have a theory. We got a lot of similarities between Luffy and Roger, but I think that in the upcoming fight, Luffy's upgraded armament hockey is going to remind Kaido of Garp's Fists of Fury. giving us a mini flashback to the God Valley incident and letting us have a taste of what Garp fighting in his prime looked like. Also, what's your raid on Onigashima Deadpool look like? Deadpool.
I don't get the. Oh, who's gonna die? Is that?
Yeah.
betting on-
Yeah, pretty much betting on who's going to
I
die.
was just about to say, oh, well, My Hero Academia's Deadpool died, so now One Piece gets
Wow, I guess that's a spoiler, but God, that was so good.
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't want to do a Deadpool because that sure as hell didn't work out for the Game of Thrones fandom.
Yeah.
What was the first part of the question?
Luffy reminding Kaido of Garp.
I kind of like that because Kaido was on Roxas' crew, so he would have been there.
Yeah.
right?
I like the idea of the fight somehow, like, you know, having a doorway to seeing some of the God Valley incident. I would like to find out more about that. So
I'm ready.
I like that.
I'm ready to find out that like God Valley is going to be. It's going to be like the site of the final battle between like Luffy and Blackbeard and Emu or whatever.
That'd be cool.
And I just want Eneru to interrupt the fight and just try to claim the land for himself. And it's like, it's got my name in it. And then they just kind of just punch him out of the
This
way.
land is my land, not your land.
The
Sorry,
moon's born.
This is God Valley. It's not Kami Valley. Okay. Natachi says, now that Jimbei is back, would you rather see him fight a Calamity or fight Big Mom since he nullifies her intimidation factor?
Him fighting
Who fight her?
Jimbei.
Jimbei? Oh, I was watching Roger's stream earlier, and like somebody in his chat like brought up Jimbei versus Jack, like Fishman versus Fishman.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Ooh.
Yeah. It feels
cool.
right. They're both like big and bulky, and
I want to see him shoulder
Yeah, I
throw
like
an
that a lot
elephant.
too. Oh God, yeah. That would be
It's like Frankie punching an
want to see an elephant.
Of course you do.
I think character-wise, I couldn't see Jinbei fighting against Big Mom. It was like he gave that big speech to say, like, this is why I can't follow you anymore. But I feel like he still has like some amount of honor that he wouldn't like just go and beat the crap out of his old boss type of thing.
yeah, it wouldn't be vindictive or anything.
I think it'd be boss if Nami had a fight against Big Mom, like Nami and Brook did like a team up
like
fight.
over Zeus a little bit.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking.
Mm.
I think that'd be pretty dope.
I'd like to see that interaction. I don't think that would be a fight, but
Right.
yeah.
I mean, that interaction's. I would hinge
It's
my
right.
bets on that happening. Like,
Yeah,
If
that's true.
if Nami beat Big Mom unassisted, everyone has to listen to her from now on. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. Like she will rule that ship.
I would
fine.
be very pleased with it because it would break the power scaling community.
That's good because they're like there shouldn't be anything close to Dragon Ball Z power levels in this series. So
Yeah.
we don't need a Goku Black arc debate for this show.
Luffy Black.
Right.
Got
Well,
a
this kind
green
of
gear second.
goes into this topic. None Easy says, given that this upcoming war is going to involve a ton of characters, what are your hopes for the Straw Hats in terms of fights? Would you like to see them get a unique battle against an individual opponent like NES Lobby or Fishman Island, or a team-up battle like Thriller Bark? I've always loved how the fights in One Piece can advance character development, so I am looking forward to either outcome or both. Also, do you think this war against Kaido and Big Mommy is a big event foreshadowed at the end of Dressrosa, meaning the Straw Hat Alliance will show up, or is Oda saving that for a future event?
I think that's a future event.
I feel like that might be more likely whatever is happening revolving the Reverie, like all the Sabo and Vivi type stuff. So yeah, Straw Hat fights.
I want a good mix of team ups and one-on-ones.
I'm trying to think of some Straw Hats we don't normally see, like team up or just interact as a duo.
I mean, the Straw Hats can also team up with like the various, samurai and.
Yeah. That's like going back to Enies Lobby. I would like to see like 2-on-2 type fights like that. Because that's some of the most fun part of that part of that arc was like, Zoro and Usopp together and just like weird, funny stuff like that.
I mean, I could definitely see. Has it been since Davy back that we've had like a real Zoro and Sanji fight like together? Besides like the quick one that happened earlier. I mean, just since they haven't been in the story together for like 5 years.
I guess if that fight against the Pacifista at Shibondi post time skip doesn't count because they kind of just one hit KO'd that thing.
I mean, or Brook and Zoro or Brook and Kinemon, like the swordsmen together would be cool.
I'd actually kind of like to see Brook and Jimbei together, the two old guys of the crew.
Yeah.
We're
also going to see we're going to be introduced to like the Numbers and the rest of the Toby Roppo, like they're going to be in the mix.
Oh yeah,
there's more.
There's going to
be so many fights.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
Yeah, I think Zoro, Sanji, and Jimbei, they can get like the calamities, and then
it might just be a cluster. It might just be like kind of like what we saw with the Odin kind of fight with Kaido. It's just like a bunch of people just fighting each other forever.
Tournament of power.
Yeah, exactly. Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Except there's actually
totally
stakes.
Possible.
There's actually real stakes in this arc.
That's
Trevi says, not sure if anyone pointed this out, but I determined how Aunt Clay got Momo's face. So when we are introduced to the Kurozumi plot in chapter 965, she touches Orochi and even turns into him on page 13 of that chapter. On 14, I believe this was her being Orochi when asking for money from Oden. And this would be how she got Oden's face to use when she and Orochi on page 16 convinced Sukiyaki to hire Orochi. So at any time she could appear as Oden to Momo and he wouldn't have known it was her. No need for just a vassal when you have Oden's face.
Wait, for Momonosuke?
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
She's dead.
No. The in the flashback.
Back then.
Yeah, in the flashback.
Yeah, sorry,
she turns into Momonosuke.
Well, Momonosuke, Toki, and Hiyori, they were living on Wano for like a couple of years before Oden came back, right?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could probably like break it down by panels like this, like Trevi did, and say, I bet this is her here. I bet this is her there. I in general, for me, it was just like, oh well, once you have that power, it's like it's easy to imagine how you can infiltrate and get that sort of thing. You don't necessarily need it spelled out.
We've never seen Bon Clay. We don't actually get to see him touch Cobra.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's obviously a super powerful, infiltration tool. Gunther C. Perk 97 says, with about 8 exclamation points. Imagine this with a big smile and lots of ridiculous dancing moves. I think we all agree with that one. Black Northwind says, guess who's back again. The fish uncle is back again. So, all right. People have the same idea. So when will Zunisha with the rest of the minks show up in Onigashima? And will Jack be peeing his pants when he sees the giant elephant?
It's bad memories.
Yeah. Man, I would love to see that. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I love Zunisha. So
that'd be pretty dope. I just realized that, we haven't seen... The Cat Viper hasn't come back yet. We don't have the online scabbards yet. That's
true.
Yeah. We gotta get my my lasagna boy.
Yeah. HJW98 Titan says, I might just be paranoid, but is it possible that Kanjuro drew this Jinbei? I think you're paranoid.
God, I hope not. I would be so fucking mad.
That'd be horrifying.
That would be cruel.
Conjuro would immediately climb to the top of the most despised character in the entire series. That is a pro wrestling move if I've ever seen that. That's the equivalent of playing someone's entrance music and then being like, psych, they're not here. Yeah. I'd wish death upon Kanjuro if that was the case.
All right. Sifron says, hey, OPP, after reading this week's chapter, I've seen a lot of comments about Oda having said something along the lines of, next time we see Jinbei, he won't be in One Piece or he'll look different. I haven't been able to find a source for Oda's quote, though. Any idea where this came from or if it's even real?
I remember it. I remember that interview, and I remember it being debunked as fake.
Oh, great.
But I still hear people talking about it.
It was a fake interview?
Yeah, like there's some comment that Oda made somewhere or an interview or something where he's like, oh yeah, like I can't draw Jinbei in the color spreads yet because he's going to look different when he returns to the story or something. And people took that as he's going to be missing a leg or he's going to have an eye patch or something.
He's just got a new. He's just wearing a new Jinbei.
Yeah, and it looks great.
And by the way, fans, there's no such thing as the Pirate Summit.
Oh man.
Let's see. Slades of Glory says, now that we officially have Jinbei on board and a question about the anime popped into my head, I feel like I remember hearing Oda has a say in Straw Hat voice actors. Do you think when Katsuhisa Hoki took over the role of Jinbei, Oda took him aside to let him know that in a decade he would have a gig as a Straw Hat?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Was that... Oh wait, so I don't know the voice actors for has Jinbei had multiple voice actors?
Yeah, it was Daisuke Gori for the first few.
That's right. Yeah, I thought I remembered that.
Man,
so when
did
the current voice for Jinbei take over?
Not too long
Impel
after
Down,
it
right?
came in.
Like 2 or 3 episodes after, right? Like
he didn't do many. Yeah, Gori didn't do many episodes.
Yeah, he did 2.
Yeah,
or 2 or 3. It was 432. 430 and 432. I know this not for any reason you should be concerning yourself about at the end of the podcast. Go ahead.
Wait, so okay. So this would have been during Impel Down that the current actor took.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first couple episodes were Daisuke Gori and badass. Oh, so badass. Oh, I'm still sad about that. Yeah.
I remember when we had
for many reasons.
Daniel Baugh. Is that how you say his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember when we had him on. I tried to ask him like, hey, when they were auditioning, did they mention like this is like a long-term gig, like you're going to be one of the main characters? I don't think he understood the question, so I don't think we got like a clear answer. But
this is going to seem like a very controversial opinion, but as far as the Japanese voices go, I do like the second. I think the second voice fits Jinbei a little better than Gori's did.
Well, there isn't much to compare to. So
yeah.
Gori didn't even get a chance.
Yeah.
I guess
I will say this. I like his. I like the current Jinbei voice a lot better than his Moria voice.
Well, I mean, yeah.
All right. Pink Chorizo is the last question on Reddit. I honestly had tears in my eyes when Jinbei showed up. We waited for so long for this to happen. I can't remember feeling so much joy for someone joining the crew. But then again, I think none of the other Straw Hats was teased for so long. And I haven't thought about it before, but Law and Kid's faces proves the big deal this is for the world as a whole. Having the strongest fishman and former warlord join the crew, I'm so hyped. On a different note, some time ago, I adopted 2 sister kittens and named them Nami and Robin. Thought about asking, have you ever named a pet after a One Piece character? And if not, who would you name a pet after?
Zach?
Yeah. Zach.
I have not. Yeah, they just happen to be kind of One Piece named, but that wasn't my decision.
I thought about a couple of years ago getting a pair of twin orange tabbies and naming them Lucas and Klaus from Mother 3 because I thought that would be cute. But
Alex, now's the time.
No, it's true. Well, right now we're currently dog sitting, but as far as it goes, I'm more of a I wait until I assess the pet's personality before naming them. So it could be as esoteric as Django, or it could be as normal as David. So
I don't.
It all
I
depends.
guess I don't like the. I wouldn't like the idea of like associating. Like I want the One Piece character to be the One Piece character, and I want my pet to be my pet. I guess.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Unless it's like just like it's just like a perfect kind of like, oh, this name fits really well. I'm not gonna name a cat Luffy. And I'm like, no, you're a cat. You're not Straw Hat Luffy, the main character of One Piece.
If I were to do it, it would have to be a really esoteric character, like naming my cat Whoop Slap or something.
Name your cat
Good name
Whoop
for a
Slap.
cat.
Yeah.
Or
It's
naming
really
a dog
easy for a
after a dog from there. So maybe if you have a dog, you name it Lasso.
See, like I could see like abstracting
Dog
it a
Storm.
bit. Like if I wanted to be kind of a Whoop Slap reference, I would name the cat or dog like Whoopi or something.
You should call name the dog Shoo Shoo.
Shoo Shoo is
Garp's a pretty good dog name.
I mean, Garp is
Garp
just a great
is
name
a great dog name.
across the board.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I agree. Should we all name our children Garp? Like, no matter what. Can
My
we,
son
can
is
we
also
enter
named
into a
Garp,
pact here?
Whoever
My son
guesses
is also
the
named
right,
Garp.
Gorp.
whoever guesses the right number of chapters gets to dictate who everyone's kids' names has to be.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a good bet.
Really raise
I'll
the
make sure to
stakes.
have all my. Yeah, and it'll really make you want to have all your kids before One Piece is over.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for Reddit.
Yep.
Steven? Okay, Ed, it's time to.
Peace the tweet. Yeah. It's time to peace.
Ooh, vocal cords are working today.
It's time to peace
Yeah,
the tweet.
go ahead.
King Luffy 1 asks, do your significant others or family members share your love of One Piece, or is it just the weird shouting show you read or watch every week? I asked this because I know Sam, your brother, has been watching or reading.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's reading it. I think he's mostly reading it now, and he's loving it. Like he's like totally, like 100% getting it. He bought Pirate Warriors 4, like just because he's just in a One Piece mood. I think he's like partway into Punk Hazard right now, and it's been great.
See,
Just like
for me, I've
just
been leaving One Piece Volume 1 in random. No, the answer is
You're like
no.
the One Piece Easter Bunny.
My baby sister used to read it when she was buying lots of manga. Although I don't think she reads as much manga anymore. I doubt she's keeping up with it.
Quick answer for me, no.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll get Bethany to watch it. I mean, she was present. Like when Steve was over for New Year's, we watched a couple episodes because when we came back from New Year's Eve that night, I showed her some color walks, and she was immediately enamored with Robin, which is one of the only two characters that she knows. She knows Luffy and she knows Robin. She can't remember Chopper's name. She calls him Chickles or Chum Bucket or Chum Chum or Chubby. Like she for some reason does not remember his name. But yesterday I was decorating our apartment and I put my figure Coliseum, Zoro and Shanks on the shelf, and she's like, those look cool, keep them there. And I'm like, cool. So we're on our way, slowly but surely.
I was gonna add, because the listener put in the weird shouting show. My wife knows it as the weird shouting show because I'm shouting from my office all the time.
It's funny because David Ednar, that's what his wife called it until she started watching it, apparently.
Yeah. All right, what's next, Ed?
All right, next one comes from Father of Geese, who says, would Blackbeard be successful at recruiting people in Impel Down if there was no prison break going on? You know, I think he can make a convincing offer. He seems like a persuasive guy.
Hey, I just opened your cell. You want to escape? No, I like my chances just staying here in prison forever.
I do think he is targeting a lot of people who would like to be the captain themselves, and like the fact that he has leverage over them is kind of the thing that keeps them under control.
All right, next one comes from Wes the Fitting, who says, I actually fucking cried. Fishman Island ended in 2012. I've been waiting 8 years. I needed this. How I have waited. So, shout out to you, Wes.
The one thing I forgot to say is that the Oda mentioned his comment in the last chapter was something like it's so hard to draw manga during such dark times or something along those lines. So it's like what a gift to get this chapter now. I do
What if
really
he was just
appreciate
like,
that.
what if he was like, you know what? Screw it, Jimbei now.
It's not unreasonable to think that may have been some of the reason, but I think he did this. Well, I don't know how long ago he did this. It probably was at least when China was going through the thick of it. Who knows?
You know, I thought about this earlier when Jinbei showed up. I mean, of course, it was hype as shit, but after like Greg posited that maybe he'll ride in on a giant Ukiyo wave, like I got my hopes up like crazy for that.
He still can.
I mean, I guess that's true. He still totally can. But yeah, I don't know. Look, if you bring back Jinbei no matter when, I think people are going to be fucking excited about it. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. It's really great to see the amount of Jinbei fans coming out of the woodwork, because I feel like there's like a very devoted, but like it's like a group in a group kind of thing. It's like of Jinbei fans out there.
All right.
What's next, Ed?
Next one comes from our very own Brian Newton on Twitter. He says, is anyone talking about the revelations that the up fruit grants immortality, then revealing that Kaido is seemingly immortal? He might just be super tough, but Doflamingo is working within Kaido's operation. I also suspect the 5 elders and Imu.
The up fruit, I feel like, is the what do you call it? The thing that everyone thinks is the thing lurking in the background, basically. There's a word for it. MacGuffin, thank you. Yeah,
the elephant.
I gotta
the McElephant.
I didn't even think about it. I know this is a silly thing to do with One Piece, but I just dismissed it as a weird ass pull / Deus Ex Machina that was added in Dressrosa. But if this ends up like tying into the Kaido thing, that would make a whole lot of sense, considering the fact that like.
Yeah,
I think we've posited that like, well, he's got a devil fruit. Can't he just drown himself if he wanted to, commit suicide? So
well, the problem with this, I guess this might defuse all of this situation, is that it's not literally immortality fruit; it's the eternal life fruit. So you wouldn't die of old age and wither away into nothing. But I mean, my interpretation is that if someone blows a giant hole in your chest, you're still going to die.
Or maybe it's not like Highlander where like you have to get your head cut off but like everything else you're good.
I think that detail is going to come back, but like I like that Kaido's just tough.
Yeah, me too. Despite the fact that he has a dragon devil fruit, he transformed back into his like regular self to like give Luffy an ass beating. So I feel like I want more strong characters like that. I hope that we find out that Roger never had a devil fruit.
Right.
Just because.
Yeah, that's what I hope. I just hope
he's just like a fucking shredded beast. Same with Shanks, actually.
I just want them to be Tonka tough. Just.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, like if Shanks hadn't eaten a devil fruit since he saved Luffy, I guess, because he can clearly swim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, next one comes from 91 Ryan, who says, seeing Raizo asking Denjiro what happened to his face, I replied with, he had an all-night rager.
What's wrong with your face?
I made that one too.
All-night rager.
Oh, damn it!
Pretty good.
That's what happens when I come in late. I miss all the good stuff.
Our next one comes from Rio Amano, who they hung a Jimbei keychain over their bed in celebration.
I thought they just kept that above their bed just as like a good luck charm for him to come back.
No, I think they did that this week.
Yeah. the gym catcher.
Yeah. And finally,
Gym catcher.
That is an amazing title that we can't go with at this point.
It is good.
The gym catcher.
All right. And finally, Edson Cruz says, 2 things from this week's chapter. I literally cried at Jimbei. That's the second person who wrote in to say that. And also, I want a poem book written by Robin. What's your favorite edgy Robin moment?
Ooh.
Oh, it's like her
morbid thoughts.
Metal. Yeah.
This one might the one in this chapter might be the most morbid I've seen.
Yeah, dead babies. That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or no, I like the one where she tells Frankie to stop making faces in Chopper's body.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
good.
Don't do this ever again. Or
what was someone was below the ocean and someone says like, are they dead? And I think she said like, oh well, the water would start turning red. I forget.
Yeah,
I forgot
that was a
what
salvage scene, I think.
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh god, that's like the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're on Skypea, and I think somebody's like, where are the others? And she's like, oh well, they probably got chopped up into ribbons or something like that. And that's the one that always sticks out to me.
It's a really good recurring gag that I always forget is there, and whenever I see it, I'm always so pleasantly surprised.
Oh, God, I'm so glad that like she keeps up with it. Like when it came back in this chapter, I was like, "Guh," but I was also like, "Yay!"
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it, Ed. Okay, so let's round off and do a little bit of trivia.
All right.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 615 for April 5th, 2020. Thank you all for coming on the show. Really good episode this week. Went through chapter 976 and the latest anime episode, which I think is 926? 7? I was one off.
Yep.
And piece together all that. Big thanks for everyone here. Shannon, where could the good people out there find you, and what are you working on?
You can find me on Twitter at Plenty of Alcoves, and I'm on the teen superhero, dark comedy, body horror, actual play podcast Critical Bits, which you can find at Critical Bitcast. And if you go on YouTube and type in Strucci Movies, STRUCCI, you can find my video essays.
Thanks, Shannon. Always great having you on.
Thanks for having me on.
You back. Yeah. Thank you, Ralph, for coming on. Where could people find you?
Well, I'm on Twitter and Twitch at grim_piece, where I'm on sometimes. I'm just around.
Thank you, Ralph, and thank you for your support. And thank you for coming on again. Yeah, always great to have you. Thank you, Steven. Where could people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Translatosaurus.
Sam, where could people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Lucky Chainsaw, and they can find me on the One Piece podcast every week doing the anime recaps.
Alex, where could people find you?
Please find me on Twitter at Dude!, all one word, if you please. And also, please listen to Toho Yaro. We have we've instituted a speed up / accelerated release schedule a la Viz because of the quarantine. So we released the Moon and Cherry episode last week, and this week we'll be recording Yasushiro Ozu's Good Morning, followed by 2 other movies for this month. So please subscribe to us on and rate, of course, on Apple Podcasts, and follow at Toho Yaro for updates and such. I'm very excited about it.
Steve, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. Steve Yurko is my username, also my real name. Oh, not quite my real name. You can listen to me on other podcasts. You can listen to me on The Deep End that I do with Matt. You can listen to me on Toon Sweet, the wrestling entrance theme podcast I do with Doc. We have a special episode coming out soon. I don't want to spoil it, but a familiar friend is making a guest appearance on it. Stay tuned for that. Watch Duncanville on Fox and on Hulu. And I don't know, Rick and Morty. The other 5 got announced. I haven't worked on those episodes, but you should totally check those out when those do air.
Thank you, Steve. Rick and Morty's Steve Yurko. Thank you for coming on. And Ed, where could the good people out there find us?
You're Zach_Logan on Twitter. I'm at Edward E. One Piece. I'm also available at Weeb Trailers. Check it out. Podcasts can be found at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. OnePiecePodcast is our Skype name. Please support us, Patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. And you can subscribe on SoundCloud, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, or call us on our phone number, Zach.
And that phone number is 347-497-MAGI. That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Call anytime.
With your questions, comments, theories, or a chance to win a free gym catcher, offer not valid anywhere. Thank you all for coming on the show. And today, I think, no surprise, we're going to do Jimbei trivia. So this is how it's going to work. Everyone is going to get a category, a quick like Jimbei trivia category. I'm going to ask you questions about that category, but you get to choose what it is. So I have around like 9 categories to go from. So let's go. Ralph, are you participating in this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll be angry too.
So I'm going to give you a few categories. Pick which one you want to do. So I have basic Jimbei trivia, music, popularity, manga trivia, organizations, helmsman, karate, and the Sun Pirates. There's 2 of the present and of the past. So pick your poison.
Let's go with helmsman.
Helmsman. All you have to do in this category is name the other 2 named helmsmen in movie or manga.
All right, so you already know one of them is going to be from a movie.
Mm-hmm. You know what? If you just name I'll give it to you if you just name the one and only helmsman named in the manga, because it's more fair. One Piece Wiki had one other one, but
of which
of any crew.
There's only been one. Yeah, there's only been one named. The rest of these you have to name more things. This is the only one with just one answer.
I'm not sure.
All right, does that jump ball if anyone wants it?
Oh, Jesus Burgess.
Okay. Oh my God,
yes,
Jesus,
oh, wow.
Steve. Steve is right. Does anyone want to name the one from a movie? I don't remember when it was said.
I don't know.
Let's see. Hold on. You got to give me like a hot sec.
Just looking it up on the wiki.
You could get a cold sec
from a movie. Shit. Is this a movie that you've seen, Zach?
Mm-hmm.
It has. Okay, then good. That narrows down that narrows it down quite a bit.
You get 3 seconds.
It's gonna be some stupid character like Dr. Indigo.
No, I don't remember when this was even said. It's a major character. You'll know him. I just don't remember what it was said.
It's Dice, right?
No, I have Shiki as the other answer,
Shiki's
I don't remember him being a helmsman. Maybe he had been in a previous crew. He has a wheel.
His face is a helmsman.
He is a helmsman. That's definitely true.
Does he drive himself crazy?
His face is weird, his leg is sword, his head is helm.
Steven.
It's a different kind of helm, right?
Steven, here are the categories that have not been chosen. Basic questions, manga trivia, like generally, popularity poll stuff, organizations, karate, and pirates of present, and pirates of the Sun Pirates of past, and the Sun Pirates of present. As 2 different categories.
Let's go with organizations.
Organizations. So Jimbei has been around. Jimbei's been around the block. Please name the 5, you could bonus 6, I guess, organizations he is or has been a part of.
Oh boy. All right. So 7 Warlords.
Correct.
That's 1. Sun Pirates.
Correct.
Straw Hat Pirates.
Correct.
All right, there's at least 2 more. Oh man. Is there no, I don't think that's right. Does Prisoner of Impel Down count?
That is the bonus one.
Oh my god, okay.
That was One Piece Wiki had it as a organization he
category.
belonged to.
Yeah.
I don't really, yeah. There's two more. One is super obvious and one is super not obvious.
Super not obvious.
I think they're both super obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like, neither is
Wow,
like
well, just rub
completely
it in,
esoteric.
Yeah.
I was being nice to Steven, guys. He's our special guest.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to waste some more time.
Jump ball.
Ryugun Royal Guard and
Yeah.
Big Mom Pirates.
Oh, damn.
Alex got it. Alex got
Oh,
it.
Big Mom Pirates. Oh, duh.
Did the Sun Pirates
Alex-
get mentioned?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alex gets the point. Okay, Sam.
I mean, seeing as we're instead of raising our hands, we're just yelling shit out. I had to jump on
Yeah.
that.
That's how
All
we're
right, what are
doing
my-
it. Whoever
my
has the
options?
fastest internet wins. General Jimbei trivia, popularity, music, general manga trivia, karate, Sun Pirates of present, and the Sun Pirates of past. Or of more recent past and of very past. I guess is the better way to put that.
Sun Pirates of present.
Okay, there are three named individuals that are part of the Sun Pirates when Jimbei leaves, I guess, is the way to put it. Please name these three individuals.
Aladdin, Praline, and Wadatsumi.
That's correct. Good job,
Wow.
Sam. Okay, who is up next? Alex, your turn. Please pick a category. If you want me to name them again, I can.
Let's just do music.
Music. Jimbei had a album come out as one of the character song albums. Please name these three facts about this album. I'm not going to make you name the
shit.
number. I'm not going to make you name the number. Name the prefecture, name the instrument that Jimbei is holding, and name the name of the album. This is the most evil of the categories.
God damn, this is really evil. I was like, I got this. Ah, shit. Okay. Is it Osaka?
No. Jump ball.
Is he holding a shamisen?
Is it Okinawa?
It is Okinawa.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to name any of the other two? I'll give you the points, Steven, since you stalled. Like we're playing like Family Feud style here.
Is he
stole
holding
one
a
of them.
shamisen? Shamisen.
Yeah,
a
he
sh-
is.
shami-
He is. He is.
Okay, so I got that.
What was the other thing?
Should have
What other
started with that. And the last one is, what's the name of the album?
The name of the album.
And by the way, the album is basically just the name of the character song / prefecture
Right.
song.
Correct.
Jimbei sings the blues. I don't know.
Anyone? Any other guesses?
No.
The answer.
The Blue
and
Album.
Please. What does this mean, by the way, Steven? I don't even know what this means. True to
boy.
heart.
True to heart.
Shura heart. CHURA.
Shura.
Oh, stab true the heart.
CHURA.
That's what he did when he went to get your cigarettes.
Wait. So what was that again?
CHURA is how it was spelt on the cover.
CHURA. Chura.
Chura or Chura.
Well, I don't know. Maybe his heart is made of churras.
Okay. Now that we've gotten that over,
churros.
Steve, do you need me to name the remaining categories?
Yes, you do, because there's like 20 of them.
Popularity, basic Jimbei trivia, manga trivia, like general manga trivia, Sun Pirates of Past, and karate.
Sun Pirates of Past.
Okay. There are 11 former members of the Sun Pirates. Please name them. Not including the ones or I'm sorry, including the ones the ones who are on the ones who are on the main crew in the flashback during Fishman Island, basically.
All right. We have Fisher Tiger, Jimbei,
Yes.
Arlong, Aladdin, Chu, Hachi, Karubi. Oh no! Why did I do
This
this?
work gets hard.
Macro
Yes.
is his other two stupid brothers.
I could give that to you. They don't deserve names. And there's
How
two
many did I
others, and I
name?
have no fucking idea where they're from. That should tell you.
Give me a sec here. Trying to think.
I did look up what chura means, and it's apparently an Okinawan language thing that means like beautiful or pristine.
Oh, that's cute.
Jimbei is beautiful and pristine at heart.
Yeah.
I think we could all admit.
I honestly, maybe does koala count?
Sure. But there's still two more left.
Yeah.
I mean,
they sound like they don't sound like characters I'm gonna be able to name.
So I'm doing it like Family Feud. If no one could get this jump ball, then you get it, Steve. So anyone.
Is it Fish Capone and Jish Capone?
Anyone else?
What was it? I was looking up the question.
The remaining fishmen of past. I'm sorry. The remaining Sun Pirates of past.
Oh, well, I don't remember what Steve said, so
I have no idea.
Okay, Steve, you get the point.
Okay.
The remaining are Gyaru, Tansui, Pissarro, and Kaneshiro.
Give him a peanut.
Don't. He's allergic.
Ed, this is the last question. So pick your category. General Jimbei trivia, popularity, general manga trivia, and karate.
I'll go with karate.
Karate.
Name all the people besides Jimbei, our beloved Jimbei, who could do fishman karate.
Kurobi, Hack, Koala.
Oh, I should have said how many. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's anywhere between 6 and 7. I'll take if you get the 6.
It's more than I expected.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got 3.
You got 3.
Right.
You got
Interesting. Hody Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two
Dosen?
left, and I'll be. No.
Okay.
This jump ball. I don't know who
7.
these last two people
7
are.
in total.
I said 4, right?
What's that one from?
You said 1, 2,
debut
3,
back fight?
4. Yeah. So there's 6 to 7.
Capote?
Oh, that's one of them.
Capote?
Yep. That's one of the other ones.
Can I use Fishman credit? Because I was thinking Neptune.
And there's still one more?
Hadouken.
At least not
Well, you
confirmed.
didn't say Jinbei.
No, I said besides Jimbei.
Oh, besides Jinbei. What's his face? God damn it. I just had it. You said Hody. You said Chu. No, you didn't say Chu. You said Kurobi.
Kurobi.
Hack.
I know.
Does
Wow.
Sabo know any?
Fisher Tiger.
No, not as far as we know. I guess it was never said that he knew Fishman.
We never saw him use it.
Yeah, Fishman karate.
Hmm.
I mean, like everyone has their own skill. Not all fishmen know Fishman karate, guys. Come on.
Fishman Tiger had getting shot a lot.
I mean, that's a skill.
It's
What are
a
the
skill
real-
if
I
you
mean,
survive.
The only difference between Fisher Tiger and Jay-Z is that Jay-Z lived.
Okay, so the last
I think
one was
50 Cent.
the last one was Tansui.
I am thinking of 50 Cent.
Oh, whatever.
God damn it.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he's like the big ugly dude, the slave trader guy, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the winner is Steve with 2 points. Everyone else except Ed got 1 on that. So congrats, everyone.
Everyone else can go eat shit.
That is one of my catchphrases.
Anyway, that'll do it for the One Piece podcast. We are going to be back next week. We're going to be going through chapter 977 with special guest. I should always have these pulled up at the end, but I never fucking do. Chris, who's the localizer for One Piece World Seeker. She'll be on. And then we have one of the letterers. I think he does Dragon Ball Super and a few other series. Brandon Bovia will be on the 19th. And Abby Denton's returning on April 26th. Big thanks again to Shannon for coming on this week. We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody.
Chin pie.
Bye, Chinpo.
I'm still recording, but I don't know why.
Hi, this is Kendra calling. I just want to say, Jimbei is back! He's here. He's back. He's really, really back. The fish uncle has returned from war. Yay, I may or may not be slightly tipsy on extra dry cider, and it turns out extra dry means not sweet, and I thought it meant sweet, but also it was blue like Jimbei. But Jimbei's back. I'm very happy. He's kind of like a big shock after a big shock, so he's like kind of playing second fiddle, but I don't care. I'm just happy Jinbei's back. I hope you guys have a wonderful episode. If you do play this, thank you. If you don't, I'm sorry, I did it kind of late, and you might not check these until the next day. But yay, Jimbei, I'm going to eat cake. I'm sorry this is long. Jimbei!